In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet these little pants or trousers for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old. I made them to match the baby jacket, the little hat, and the baby blanket that I already showed you in my channel. If you want to see these tutorials, just click the little lamb down here next to my channel name, and it'll take you to my main channel page. You'll find those tutorials there. Now, like I said, these little pants along with the little jacket and hat are for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old, but you can easily make them smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'll leave some information on how you can make them smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Now, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box as well. Thank you for your support. Now, let's get started, but don't forget, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell to all notifications so that you don't miss any of my tutorials. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this medium number 4 yarn. Now, you can also use 10 ply or Aran weight yarn. So here, to begin, like I said, the first thing that we need to do is the waistband. And the waistband here for 6 to 9 months needs to measure about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do a total of 68 rows, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to chain 6, and into the second chain from the hook, I'm going to make a single crochet into the next, single crochet into the next, and into each chain 1 single crochet. There, I have 5 single crochets. Now chain 1, turn, and now repeat the same thing, but make sure to go through the back loop of each single crochet. So like this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. This is how I'm going to make my waistband. There, now chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now, if you want to make these little pants in a different size using standard size measurements and using a different hook size with different weight yarn, look in the information box. I'll go ahead and leave standard size measurements there so that you can make it smaller or bigger. Now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make a total of 68 rows. So continue until we have 68 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making the waistband. I did a total of 68 rows. Now this here, without stretching or anything, it's measuring about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. Now, if you're using standard size measurements, the important thing here is that you do the waistband in multiples of 4. We're going to join both ends, so insert your hook through the first chain stitch here, grab this loop, bring it through the front here, chain 1. Now insert your hook back again into the same stitch, and through the back loop of the first single crochet, grab a loop and make a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the next chain and through the second single crochet in the back and make a slip stitch. This is how we're going to join here, both sides. That's 4. And now we're joined, and that's what it looks like. Now we're going to make a row of single crochets. This single crochet row also needs to be in multiples of 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 single crochet for each row, and if I do that, at the end I'll have 68. I need 72 stitches. So into 4 of these rows, I'm going to make a single crochet increase. So I'll probably do 1 here, 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 and then here. Just space them out so that they're not all in one place. So let's begin here with the row single crochets. Chain 1. Now into the next row, which is this one here, you see it here, insert your hook there and make a single crochet. Now into the next row, make a single crochet, into the next row, single crochet, and so on. I'm going to show you right about here where I'm going to do my single crochet increase so that you can do the other remaining 3. Let's see, I'll do 1 here in this row. So into this next row, make 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to continue and work 1 single crochet for each row. And then about here, I'll do another increase, and then about here, another increase, and about here towards the end, I'll do the 4th increase. So that at the end of this row of single crochets, I have 72 single crochets, which is multiples of 4. That's the important thing here with this row of single crochets. Continue, finish this part, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this row of single crochets. Now I have a total of 72 single crochets at the end of this row. Here at the end, I just joined to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. I'm going to change color here. I'm going to make the rest of the pants here with this blue yarn. So make a loop here, insert your hook into the first stitch, which is the same stitch where we joined with the slip stitch. If you're not changing color, then just chain 3. Now here, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. These 3 chains here counts as your first double crochet. Into this same first stitch here, make 2 double crochets. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet, make 3 double crochets. Skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet, same thing, 3 double crochets. Continue like this to the end of this first row to this pattern. I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row to this pattern stitch. This is where I did these shells, which consist of 3 double crochets. Now up to here I have 18 shells. I'm going to skip these last 3 single crochets, and I'm going to go here where I have the 3 chains at the beginning of the row, and I'm going to join here with a slip stitch. And here is the first row. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. We're always going to turn, so chain 3, turn. Here's the first double crochet. Now in the second row, we're going to go down to the row of single crochets, and here we have 3 single crochets. So into the middle single crochet, which is the second stitch here, insert your hook and make this long double crochet. I'm going to either call it a long double crochet or a spike double crochet. I think that's what it's known as, the spike double crochet. Now into the same space here, make a double crochet. So this is what we're going to do between each shell here. So into this space, you're going to make a double crochet, then your spike double crochet, and then next to it, your third double crochet. So let me show you again. Between the next 2, insert your hook and make a double crochet. Now go to the row here of single crochets, and into the center stitch, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space, your third double crochet. One more time between the next 2, make a double crochet, go to the row of single crochets, which is 2 rows down, 1, 2. So into the single crochet row, make this long double crochet, and into the same space, your third double crochet. And this is all we're going to do for this second row. Now continue like this. I will meet you at the end of this second row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Up to here I have 18 shells. Now to finish, we have the 3 chains here at the beginning into the third chain, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish the second row. Now for the third row, chain 3 and turn. Now this third row is the row that we're always going to repeat from here on. So I already have my first double crochet. Now I need to make this long double crochet. So for the second double crochet, go down to the row of shells, this one here, and into the middle stitch, 1, 2, 3, the second double crochet here, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space here, make your third double crochet. Again, between the next 2 shells into this space here, make a double crochet, go down to the row of shells, into the middle double crochet, make your long double crochet, and into the same space, your third double crochet. One more time into the next space between the next 2 shells, make your first double crochet, go down to the row shells and into the middle double crochet, make your long double crochet, and into the same space, make your third double crochet. And that's all you're going to do all around for this third row. Continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this row to show you once again how to finish and how to start each row from here on. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 18 shells. From here on, we're always going to have 18 shells. Now, to finish this row and all the rows to follow, you're just going to join here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains here into the third chain, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this third row. Now, for the fourth row and all the rows to follow, you're just going to chain 3 and turn. Remember, these 3 chains counts as your first double crochet. So now here at the beginning, we need to go down to the row of shells here and into the second double crochet, make this long double crochet, and then next to it here, make your third double crochet. Now into the next space between the next 2 shells, make a double crochet, go down to the row of shells and into the middle stitch, which is the second double crochet, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space right next to it, make your third double crochet. One more time, into the next space, make a double crochet, go down to the row below and make your long double crochet, and then into the same space here, make your third double crochet. And that's all you're going to do for the rest of this fourth row and all the rows to follow. To finish this row, you're just going to join here to the beginning with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for these little pants, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, and all you're doing is just repeating the same row. Make sure to turn at the end of every row and then continue in that way. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part here. I have a total of 16 rows. From here up to here, there's 16 rows, and it's measuring from the waist down to the end of the last row, row 16, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to divide the legs. So to do this, remember we have a total of 18 shells. Here is the front and this is the back side. So from the back side, here's where I finished my last row, row 16. The last row I worked from the inside out. So here what I want you to do is I need you to place some stitch markers to mark the center here of the crotch area. So I want you to put a stitch marker into this first space and then into the second space so that in the middle here we have 1 shell. So we're going to have these 2 spaces here. Now I want you to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and into the 8th space put a stitch marker, and then into the next space put your second stitch marker here for the front. Now skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces for the second leg, and then I already have a stitch marker here into the next space. So for the back we have these 2 spaces, 1 and 2. For the front we have 1 and 2, and then for each leg here we have 7 spaces. Or if you prefer to count your shells, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For the other leg, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 shells or 7 spaces. Now what we're going to do here to begin is the following. Here I finished my 16th row. So here I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn. Now here's the back side. So make sure you're on the correct side. So here I'm just going to work this normal shell. So I'm going to go down to the row below and make my second double crochet, and then next to it make the third double crochet. Now we're going to jump to the next space where I have the next stitch marker. Make your next shell, and right next to it here make a double crochet. So I have 2 shells here for the back side. Now we're going to chain 1. Here I'm going to count the spaces. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and into the next space, which is where I have the stitch marker, I'm going to make a shell. So same thing, double crochet, go down to the row below and make your long double crochet, and into the same space make your third double crochet. Now into the next space here where I have the second stitch marker, same thing, make your next shell. Now chain 1, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, And now I already have the first shell here, so join to the beginning where I have the 3 chains here with a slip stitch. And this is how we're going to divide the legs. Now I want you to remove your stitch markers and I want you to place them here. Let me show you. And put it here where I have the 3 chains. This is the first double crochet, so put the stitch marker now here. Remove the second stitch marker and into the second shell, put it here where I have this double crochet. Remove the next stitch marker and here's the third shell, so put the stitch marker here into this first double crochet. So these stitch markers are going to be along the edge into the double crochets that are along the edge. Now remove the fourth stitch marker and put it here at the end. So here I am marking these 4 double crochets. So double crochet number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here I am going to now, I joined and I'm going to go right here in the middle where I have the chain. I'm going to make a slip stitch. Make a slip stitch. And now into this double crochet, so right here, and make another slip stitch. Now here, make 3 chains and into this same space, make 2 double crochets. Here's the first shell. Now we're going to jump to the next space, which is this one here. And here you're going to make your shell. And this part here is the same thing. We're going to go down to the row below and work our second double crochet. And into the space, the third double crochet. And into the next space, same thing. These spaces here around the leg, you just continue with the pattern. So continue, work a pattern stitch here, 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 and here. I will meet you right here at the end of this first row for the right leg to show you how we're going to finish the first rows. I'm here at this other side of the first row for the right leg. Now up to here I have 8 shells. I'm going to go into this stitch marker. This is stitch marker number 1 because here's where we have the 3 chains. So into this space here, I'm going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So here's my 9th shell for this first row. From here on, we're going to have 9 shells. Now to finish, we're going to go here to the 3rd chain and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish this first row for the right leg with a total of 9 shells. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now here I need to make the second double crochet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go right here and insert my hook where I have like the slip stitch and make this long double crochet, and right into the same space make my 3rd double crochet. So here's the first stitch pattern. That's what it looks like. The 3 chains, the long double crochet, and then the 3rd double crochet. Now jump to the next space, make your first double crochet, go down to the row below. Here we have the shell. So into the middle stitch, make your long double crochet, and into the same space here, your 3rd double crochet. From here on around the leg, we have the shells below. So that's where you're going to make that second double crochet like this. So continue all around. I will meet you right here at the end to show you how we're going to finish this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row here for this first leg. Now up to here I have my 9th shell to finish. I'm just going to go here into the 3rd chain and I'm going to join with a slip stitch, and this is how I finish the second row with 9 shells all around. Now from here on, this is the row that you're going to repeat. The 3rd row, you're going to chain 3, turn, and here you're just going to go down to the row below and work your second double crochet. So go into the middle stitch here in the row below and make your long double crochet, and into the same space here make a double crochet. Now jump to the next space here, make your first double crochet, go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and then your 3rd double crochet. This part here is exactly the same how we worked this part here. Just go all around and turn for every row. So you're just going to continue like this for the third row. To finish this third row from here on, you're just going to join here to the third chain with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Like I said, this part here is exactly like we did here. So continue. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for the leg, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So I will meet you at the end of that row. And so far, this is what it looks like here. This part here, don't worry, there is going to be a gap, but once we're done, we're just going to join here, you know, stitch by stitch, and it'll close up. So I'll show you that part once everything is done. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. I'm almost done with the leg. I did a total of 18 rows. So from here up to here, there's 18 rows, and this part here is measuring about 18.5 centimeters, which is about 7.25 inches. If you want to make your leg longer, you can. I'm just going to leave it like this because I have the measurement that I need here. So here, to continue, at the end of the 18th row, all I did was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach my yarn here to the first double crochet here. So I joined here, so into this stitch here, it doesn't really matter, just as long as it's on the right side here. Insert your hook there on top of this double crochet, grab a loop. I'm changing color to this white. I'm going to chain 1. Now here to begin, I have 3 double crochets. Here I'm going to alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet. So into this first double crochet here, make a front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, into the next front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, and so on. Continue like this, alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet all around for this first row. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Up to here I have 27 stitches. Now to finish this row, I'm just going to go here to the side and join with a slip stitch. Now for the second row, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start with a front post half double crochet, then you're going to do a back post half double crochet, and so on. So front post, back post, back post, half double crochets until you finish the second row. Then you're going to join here to the side with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part here. I did a total of 3 rows of front post and back post half double crochets, and this part here is done. Continue watching. I'll give you the finished measurements once it's all done. Now what we're going to do here is we already finished the right side, so we're going to go here to the left side. This is the back side. So we're going to go right here where we have this stitch marker. This is stitch marker number 2 because we had numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the second one. Insert your hook right here into this double crochet space. Now make a loop here and leave a nice little tail here because this is what we're going to use to close the gap that's going to be left here under the legs. So make sure that you leave a nice little tail like this so that after we're done we can close that gap there. Now insert your hook into this double crochet like I said, grab a loop here, bring it through the front and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to put this yarn on the inside and leave it there until we're ready to close that hole there. Now into this space here where we have the double crochet, make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now go into the next space here between these next 2 shells and make your first double crochet. Go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and next to it your third double crochet. Here this is what we're going to do all around for this first row. So continue and work your pattern stitch until you come to the last space here on this side. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish this first row to the second leg. I'm here at this other side of the first row to the second leg. Up to here I have 8 shells. Now here I'm going to make my last shell. So where I have this stitch marker right here, insert your hook into this space and make 3 double crochets. Now to finish this row, we're going to go here to the beginning and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this first row for the second leg with a total of 9 shells. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now we already have the first double crochet to our pattern stitch. Now for the second double crochet, we're going to go here. This is where we have the chain that we did when we divided the legs. So here, insert your hook there into that space and make your second double crochet, and next to it make the third double crochet. Now jump to the next space and make a double crochet, go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and next to it the third double crochet. From here on, the pattern is the same. All you do is just continue and do the same thing we always do. So continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this second row for the second leg to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the second row for this second leg. Up to here I have 9 shells. Now to finish, just go here to the side where we have the 3 chains and join with a slip stitch. And this is how you're going to finish each row from here on. Now to start each row, all you're going to do is chain 3 and turn. And then from here on, you're just going to continue and repeat the pattern, because in the previous row here, we already have the row shell. So go down to the row below and into the middle stitch here, make this long double crochet, and then next to it your third double crochet, and then same thing into each one of the spaces. From here on, it's exactly the same thing we've been doing for this pattern stitch. So continue, finish this third row. To finish, you're just going to go here to the side with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of the leg. Remember, here we did a total of 18 rows, and then finished here by making 3 rows of front post and back post half double crochets. So continue, finish the second leg, and then I'll come back and show you the finished pants. I finished making the pants. I did the second leg exactly how I showed you the first one, so the little pants here are all done. Now here in the middle, I just went ahead and closed using the whip stitch. Make sure you do it on the inside. So the little pants are all done. This is the front of the little pants, and here's the back side. That's what it looks like. Now here, all I did was, I did a long chain. This is about 115 chains, and all I did was just weave it here in the center. So the little pants are all done. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the waist down to the end of the last row, it's measuring about 41 centimeters, which is about 16 inches. From the middle here, the crotch area, down to the end of the leg, it's measuring about 21.5 centimeters, which is about 8.5 inches. Now from the waist up to this part here, the crotch area, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. Now I forgot to measure here the waist. It's measuring about 23.5 centimeters, which is about 9.25 inches. So based on these measurements, these little pants here are for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old. And as you know, I made them to match this little sweater here that I did, and the little hat along with the baby blanket. If you want to see these tutorials, just click the little lamb down here next to my channel name, and it'll take you to my main channel page. You will find those tutorials there, or if you click the information box, I'll leave the link to this set here that I did for baby boys, but you can make it for baby girls as well. So be sure to check that out. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.